Naturally, I think every birthday of mine should be a national holiday, if not international. But within that scope, it's still getting harder and harder to find those birthdays that really stand out. Traditionally we have the 10th birthday, you get double digits. 13, you become a teenager. 18, you become a legal adult. I'm not sure why 21 is particularly celebrated these days, because 18, you're an adult. Unless you're into drinking, at which case, when you turn 21, you can legally get schnockered. But after that, you can kind of make a big deal out of the fives, 25, 30, 35, 40. You can make a bigger deal out of the tens, 30, 40, and of course I'm coming up on 50. But I asked myself, what do you do with 49? And then it hit me. If you're at all theologically inclined, you know that for some reason 7 is a special number in the Bible. It's sometimes known as the number of completion or the number of perfection. There's the 7 days of creation, and then there are the 7 trumpets, and there are many other 7s throughout the Bible. And they just kind of symbolize a nice wrapping up. Musically, 7 actually works quite well as a phrase. You've got dun dun bum 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 bum, and you come right back down to your tonic note there. Not saying that I sang it beautifully to illustrate the point, but those of you who are musicians know what I'm talking about. Anyway, it hit me. 7 is the number of perfection and completion, and 49 is 7 squared. So all this year, I am the embodiment of completion and perfection. And with that, let's get to today's episode. As I record this, the first 2 months of year 49 are already going pretty well overall, family life and work life and things like that. But you came here for the fitness report, so let's get right to it. Episode 66 technically covered my birthday, but I went really fast, and the point there was just more about making fun of certain TikTok trends. So let's go ahead and start my coverage of my 49th year by going back to the birthday and briefly reviewing and adding some details that I left out at that time. Promptly at midnight, I did my usual mirror check, and I looked just as usual as ever. Anytime I weigh in at midnight, it's just a curiosity thing. I don't count it in the official journal, but at midnight, I was 216.8 pounds. The official weight in the morning was 215.2 pounds. And while we're on the subject of my weight, let's do something we haven't done yet this year, and that is look at the weight graph. You can see from the start of the year moving on through to September, it bounces around, but it stays within a certain range. I have my usual problems with getting it to go lower, and my usual weaknesses that cause it to go higher, but I did fight off any excessive spike this year. In previous years, something about late spring would cause this massive rise somewhere around April and May. And I wasn't 100% successful in keeping it down, but it didn't spike. It didn't go way up like it's done before. Now, at the start of September, I did get sick. I was in bed. I think it was September 8th, September 9th, somewhere around there. I had some pain and discomfort on, I think, like a Thursday night. And Friday morning, it was still there. I had been sleepless most of the night. And I spent all day Friday so weak, so drained, laying in bed. If I tried to get up and stand up, obviously there was something wrong with the circulation or just the oxygenation. I had about 3 or 4 seconds of being able to stand before I started getting the feeling, the sinking feeling, and the redness leading to blackness of me about to faint. All of that to point out this part on the weight chart where it drops like a rock. And, getting sick is not really the ideal way to lose weight, but I did succeed in getting it all the way down to 213.6 pounds. That is the lowest of 2023 so far, and that was 2.6 pounds away from setting a new low record as an adult. Or at least since I actually started weighing myself in 2010. Yeah, I was so close. But once I got healthier, my body started to hold on to the food and hold on to the water better, and it went back up. But the year's not over. One thing I left out of episode 66, and some of you might be grateful. I don't know. We'll find out. You know me, when I buy a new article of sporty clothing, motivational clothing, I tend to highlight it here, even if it's underwear. And this particular ad popped up for a discounted first pair. A lot of companies are doing that on Facebook. Get your first pair of our brand, and so I did. This is Krakatoa. I'm not really here to do clothing reviews, especially of items that you may not want to be looking at, but I will say they're quite comfortable, and I recommend trying them out. One of the things I did to prepare for making year 49 as excellent as possible in the fitness arena was I rearranged or redrew my wall calendar. Normally I save that for the start of the year because it is pre-printed with January up in the corner, and then you fill in the numbers. But I wanted to I really want to achieve certain goals by the time I'm turn 50, not just by the end of 2024, but 3 months before that. When I hit my 50th birthday, I would like to be in the 315 club on all 3 lifts if I can. And so on that calendar, I worked backwards from 315 on my birthday, which is about there. Actually, it'll be on a Sunday. So all through there are little blue numbers. So 315, 310, 305, and then over here in August, it works backwards to October 1st. I think I required myself to be lifting 135. No big challenge, but I just started low and I said, this is the minimum you should be doing this week. This is the minimum 1 rep maximum. You should be able to hit that. It's the minimum maximum that you should be able to hit. I did have, I'll throw this out to anybody watching who with experience and expertise. I had a guy on a fitness forum. I'm pretty cocky guy, so I'm not putting a lot of stock in it, but I will just ask. He found out that I think in November I was able to bench press just over 200. Probably even could have gone a little heavier, but I bench pressed just over 200 as my 1 rep max. And he said, you're going to try to add 115 pounds in 9 or 10 months? That'll never happen. And he was just utter scoffing. And I posted, I replied and said, well, I'm aiming for that and I'll find out. And the sun has changed. I'm getting bright. I said, I'll aim high and I'll find out. And if I don't make it, I don't make it. Which, I don't know. He seemed to think that was a ridiculous attitude, but that's my goal. And you tell me, is that an absurd or just really unreachable thing? You can take my age into account, my experience. I've got it marked. By the time we hit January, I'm supposed to be at 225. And then from there, it goes up 5 pounds every 2 weeks. So I will have 2 weeks at the start of January to go from 225 to 230 on the bench press and 2 weeks to go to 235. It doesn't seem that incredible to me, but maybe it is. But that's my question. That's my question to anyone with more experience out there is, how feasible or infeasible is it to hit 315 in the next 9 months if, let's say, I can hit 200 on all 3 of those lifts right now? I have 2 things I really need to highlight here, and one of them is that there was a full moon on my birthday. And so late that night, in the early hours of September 29th, I got this beautiful shot of the full moon. And then I forgot to include it in episode 66. So because I got it, and because this is my video series, here it is. The other thing I want to mention is something that went by very quickly in episode 66. It was a photo of me holding a stuffed animal tiger. My youngest, my 11-year-old daughter, is aware that my tiger, or big tiger, the tiger is my sort of gym mascot and my motivational graphic. They were out birthday shopping for me, and she loves these things called squishmallows. Absolutely adores them. So when she was walking by the Squishmallow display bin in Fred Meyer and she saw a tiger, she instantly thought of me. And so I need to welcome to the family, Tigerius is the name I've given him. I don't really know what I'm supposed to do with him as a grown man. I don't have much use for stuffed animals anymore, but I'll hold on to him. It's the thought that counts, right? So yeah, I'm just not quite sure. Put him on a shelf maybe somewhere, just. And so, yes, we are 2 months into year 49 as I create this report. How have those first 2 months gone? Well, as per my usual style, I started out strong in the gym. And also, as per my usual, I just had to start with a new Tiger t-shirt. I was on a pretty good roll at the gym for the first 18 days of October, and then on the 19th, I decided to go for a hike. Now, this is a hike that I have done repeatedly over the summer. It's a local state park called Smith Rock, and the trail I go on is 6.5 miles long. It takes me about 2.5 hours, and it's really nice for if I don't want to take the whole day to go way out into the mountains and find a long trail that is grueling and aggressive, and so I can do that in a morning. I can go out to Smith Rock, hike this thing, come back, and spend the rest of my day doing things. And I have done that. But for some reason, on the 19th, I came back absolutely drained. I don't know if it was lack of nutrition or what. I don't know. But it took it out of me, so I skipped the workout that night. I considered the hike to be my workout. I think it was a couple more days of just feeling like I had been wiped out. And that, it really just threw me off. Now, yes, I am easily thrown off because I am an inherently lazy and inactive person. That's how I grew up, Lazy is one of the words that my mom used to describe me frequently. But anyway, so it became very easy to just say, you know what, I just don't feel like packing up and going to the gym tonight, especially as the cold weather has also rolled in. The rest of October on into November was almost entirely just little workouts here at home, thinking I'll do the gym tomorrow. Tonight I'll just go do some hammer curls or some body weight squats or something like that. And it's amazing how fast that kind of day piles up. I'll do the gym tomorrow. And then you look back and go, I have said that for 20 days. It's not good. It's who I am, yes, but it's not good and it needs to change, and I'm aware of that. They say knowing is half the battle. Boy, the second half of the battle is, for me, is a pain. The weather in Central Oregon becomes very hit and miss as we move into late October and then on into November. You can have a positively summery day in the middle of November, and then the very next day it can be 30 with icy rain coming down on you. And so it's just, you know, who knows what you're going to get. I did get in a couple of jogs. I am still working on covering 365 miles of pedestrian activity in 2023, and I'm doing quite well. 2022 was the first time I tried it. I think I've informed you of this. I just fell off. I was so far behind by the time fall came that it became a useless endeavor. This year, I'm really close. I think it's going to happen. I don't think it will be, I don't even think it will be a problem making it happen. So unless suddenly we get snowed in for the next 22 days, I should be fine getting that one little goal done. For the third year in a row, my Halloween costume was Slappy, the ventriloquist dummy. And I had a wonderful, delightful time sitting on a street corner, stock still, holding a bowl of candy in my lap. And then when kids got close enough, I would... I am now... I've completed 1 year at Pappy's Pizzeria. I've been there for a full year now. That was it. We had Thanksgiving. I don't have any footage of Thanksgiving this year. I just went without the camera. Not even a shot of me pounding the mashed potatoes as good exercise because my mother pounded them, mashed them up before I got there. So Thanksgiving this year was literally show up and eat what somebody else made. It was awesome. All right, I think that's the report, though. That's the first 2 months. There's really nothing much else to say. I think the next workout journal, whenever that is, should be more interesting. And I know, or I believe that because I've already lived a part of it and I know where it's going, and I won't do spoilers right now. Just should be more interesting. Amazingly, for early October, the temperature here just after midnight was so relatively balmy. It's a little chilly, but it was so close to balmy that I decided I'd go for a jog without a shirt on, and it still feels good. I did my big loop, 2.6 miles in just under 30 minutes, 29:50 something, which I didn't expect, having been away from jogging and weightlifting and all things fitness for over a month. This was, ooh, the lighting. Oh yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's the end of day 2 of the road to 50. I gotta go to bed now. I got work tomorrow. I like this whole, they installed new street lights. Not new lampposts and all, but just new bulbs, and they are nice and bright, and they give this kind of, ooh, perfect for October. Does it just hit better? No, not on my chest. It's still too soft. How about the arm again? Okay, now some neighbor's going to see me and wonder what's going on. So, good night.